moment you were in a show, a play, a TV episode, a film, the moment that you went, oh, this is it. I'm doing it. It was something that you just loved and you knew that you nailed it. And it's a moment that what is that moment to you?
Oh. Well, other than being a heroin addict, they say it's like 10 climaxes. I don't know from experience. And God, please forgive me. I'm not trying to make fun of heroin addicts. One of my goddaughters died as an overdose of heroin.
Sorry.
But what I hear that they have great moments of euphoria that is unbelievable. Mm. Really, that's what they say. Hence the reason for being addicted. But other than that, on a natural, normal level, what does it feel like?
Or even more, but what was that moment for you?
What was that moment as an actor?
Yeah, where you went, yeah, this is it. I'm doing it.
Oh, I'm doing it, or I was doing it already?
I mean, you could have been doing it already, but what is a moment in your life? What was a show?
I'll give you an example. I'm not trying to patronize you, but it was one time was with you.
Really?
Yeah, when you cast me in The Listener. I mean, in the Perceptions.
Yeah.
I play a Bogart type.
Yeah.
With Max Gale, well-known Max Gale from Barney Miller.
Yeah. By the way, Max is going to be on soon.
Oh, give him my best. He doesn't know me well. We don't know each other well. But I was really thrilled to work with that man. That man is underrated actor. He's a very good actor.
He's wonderful.
I mean, comedy stuff at Barney Miller, that doesn't show everything you got. But it was a job, and he did good at it. He did very well, and he was successful, as they all were. Some great actors. Again, there's another topic. The limitations of the one casting director once told me, it made me cry.
Yeah.
We know you can stretch. We know you can go up beyond what we want you to do here. So don't think we don't understand that. But for right now, we got to hire you for this role. That's the role. So we know many actors are not limited. They're very, very, very well. All actors are limited. They can't do everything, but actors can stretch. So the time that you cast that, I wore my fedora hat and I auditioned for it. You said it the other day. We did the first interview. That was it. I was the guy.
Yeah.
I really felt fulfilled while playing that under the direction of Randy Vasquez and with Max Gale. I really felt fulfilled. I bought 4 packs of Camel non-filtered, and which was a prop that, by the way, props also can help you get to the character, fulfill the character's, role. Non-stop short Camel cigarettes. I always was lighting up in the scene. There was smoke in the air, that kind of environment.
And now, are you a smoker?
No.
Oh.
I had been, but I'm not a smoker now.
Right.
So, good question. But even if I were, I chose a certain cigarette that I would not normally smoke. Yeah. And I wanted that smoke to be in the air for effect. And I had that certain attitude, direct, suspicious, cautious, and confident. Again, words have power. Words are all we got. See what words can do?
Well, it's so amazing, too, the way you said those words. It was like, boom, boom, boom. I felt each of those words.
Yeah,
and the meaning of it.
That's meaning, and that's true, but that's also acting.
Yeah.
And the fedora didn't hurt. Didn't hurt. But there are other times on stage. Mainly, David, my great moments as an actor were not in film or TV or commercial, especially. They were mainly on stage, as any good actor's moments are on stage, because you have a full-length sustained role throughout the play, whether it's a classical drama piece or a modern drama. I mean, when I played The View from the Bridge by Arthur Miller, I played the narrator. I also played, Ralph.
Right.
And And so you have great moments where you really get into it, and you know that you click.
Mm.
And you know, and on that note, I don't want to do plays anymore because I'm lazy. Although that's a cop out, but I'm telling the truth. Because plays, you can only do it so many times, day after day, night after night, whatever it is, week after week, month after month. If it were like a short run, 3 days or something, I would do it. But in a movie, you can always do it differently each take.
Mm.
In plays, although it's the epitome of an actor's, theater is for actors.
But
Movies are for,
don't you think you could do it differently on the stage?
yes, you can always add something, but there's just so much room. You can't go out of boundary. I mean, it all depends on the play, of course. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if it's a classical drama, where the action's in the lines, like Shakespeare, it's pretty hard to go outside that boundary because
Mm-hmm.
most of the drama is between the lines, right? It's in the line. It's between the lines. I mean, because I'm a Jew, in Sherlock or something, or to be or not to be or not to be. That is the question. I mean, how many ways can you say it? I mean, you know, you can't improvise. To be or not to be. You can't do that in a Shakespeare play. Like what? You can't do that.
To be.
So, you know, but and you're not supposed to. It's constructed that way to deliver. It's all in the lines. It's poetic drama. It doesn't mean that you can't add stuff internally.
Mm.
But, I like modern work because, movies, modern work, because, especially with good directors, which we haven't covered, but a director that allows you latitude is the best of directors. I'm sorry to all those directors like David Mamet, probably one of the greatest playwrights and directors of all time.
Mm.
Glenn Gary, Glenn Rowe, whatever the title was, Glenn Ross, Glenn Gary, whatever that film is. What's the name of it?
Very good.
Yeah, and I mean, Joe Joe Mantegna, friend of mine, very good actor. Criminal Minds, Joe Mantegna. He did a lot of work. He won a Tony Award. He worked with David Mamet, and he said, "Here's how David Mamet is. You ready? As a director, the line is, let's say, well, Frankie, I told you that you can't go there. And the reason why you can't go there is because I told you so. As simple as that. I'm making up a line. If you were to do a method type acting or improvise, a lot of actors do. Frankie, I told you a million times, you're not supposed to go there. Didn't I tell you that? I told you you're not supposed to go there. Not because you're not supposed to go there. It's because I told you not to go there. That's the reason why. Because I told you why. So you see what, okay. David would go, cut. Where does it say that? It doesn't say that in the script. Every word has to be the way he wants it. He will not let you go, yeah, but no, nothing. I'm serious. I can't work with that. Now, don't get me wrong. I would take a David Mamet production, job, but it's hard to work that way.
Yeah.
Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
the name of the script, the movie?
Yeah. What a
Al Pacino.
words that are coming out.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Scorsese is totally the opposite from what I hear. He's let's try it that way. Okay, try it. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Try it. Go ahead. And you do it. I like that. Let's do it again. He'll do 20, 30 takes. He doesn't care. Yeah. And then, De Niro is allowed to do what he wants. He said, let me do it again. No, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. Cut. No, let's try a different way now. I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. I don't. Okay. Listen, I don't know. You told me that. You told me that. You think I didn't hear it from you. He thought I don't know what you're talking about. He'll go on. Cut. Let's do it again, because they know in the editing they'll pick what they want. Now that comes from only one person and one person only, from the director. The director is the one to allow you to do that. When you worked on the Fockers, the who were the one you worked in? Who were in there? Which stars were there?
De Niro,
Okay, De Niro.
Blythe Danner.
Were you on the set when De Niro
I
was
was
doing
on the set. I got to face to face with
Good. So
Bobby.
how did didn't De Niro have a lot of leeway?
He was amazing. Well, we did one.
He went all over the place, right?
He was very, De Niro's amazing in the sense that he walked on that set and he was so focused.
Yeah, he's always focused. You got to be focused, of course.
So focused, and his energy was so different. It's so interesting that everybody's energy from the main cast that I met, Hoffman and everybody's energy was so their own. De Niro was like this. Blythe Danner,
He plays a CIA man, so he's into himself.
Yeah, but he was in character the whole time.
Yeah, of course. But the point is, did the director allow him to have a little bit of leeway, latitude?
I didn't see.
You weren't there that long.
No. I mean, whether I was there that long, I was so focused in what I was doing.
Okay, that's
my one line of Fokker fame. But I was so focused being on that set because it was like, there was so much going on back there. There were the people dancing and partying, and then right here you had all the other Fokkers, and then here comes De Niro and Blythe Danner, and
my point was that some directors, okay, you didn't experience that because you weren't there to look at it. That's all right. So, but my point was that some directors knowingly going into a production, they know that certain actors need latitude. They want the camera to bend for them rather for them to bend for the camera. Is that a good expression?
Yes.
And the camera's got to bend for them. Let them do their thing and the camera follows.
Right. And
that's what I'm talking about.
It's like and that's why they're cast, because, okay, we know what this person does. Right. Boom, let them do what they do. And a lot of the directors, don't. They just don't, the directing is in, maybe like, here, try that, or what about this, and then let them go and create their own.
Those are the best. I'm not saying that, listen, it's all a matter of taste. I mean, Cary Grant, Hitchcock worked together several times. Martin Landau, the great Martin Landau, the actor Martin Landau.
Love Martin.
Okay, here's a story of Martin Landau. One of his first pictures was North by Northwest with Cary Grant.
I didn't know that was one of his first. I loved him in that.
Yeah, everybody starts somewhere. And Hitchcock was very stoic, very quiet, sit in his chair and fart. According to my uncle who used to work with him, he'd just fart, burp, fart, burp. Okay. And anyway, the great Hitchcock, great master of film. All right, here's a typical here's the type of the director that would never direct. He'd just say action. He figured your lines. Of course, Cary Grant knew his lines. And Anne-Marie Saint, her name, Marie Saint, she knew her lines. And James Mason knew his lines. And Martin Landau at one point, a few days into it, said, Mr. Typical method actor from New York, Mr. Hitchcock, am I doing all right? I mean, you're not, because he never said anything. And Hitchcock says, yes, I'll let you know if there's something wrong. So he gave him a pass. But Hitchcock didn't direct. He wouldn't go, okay, guys, let's try it another way. Like John Cassavetes, who I had the pleasure of meeting several times, because my uncle worked for him in A Woman Under the Influence with Peter Falk and Gina Rowlands.
Did you go on the set of any of it?
Yes, I was supposed to be in the movie.
Oh!
I screwed up. I was out of town. My uncle Vince Barbie, who got me started, he plays the guy with the toupee, and they talk around having lunch at breakfast time. They're having spaghetti, and anyway, they're having it. John Cassavetes would be under the table, David, and telling everybody because they're all improvising.
Right.
The whole scene with them at the table having spaghetti in the middle of the morning, because they just got off a shift in the water department. Meantime, Gina Rowlands playing Peter Falk's wife. She was drunk. There was this problem with her called A Woman Under the Influence. Yeah. All right, so Cassavetes was he was motioning to tell everybody. There was no script. They were just improvising. Wow. My uncle improvised about golfers going.
I love Cassavetes.
Okay, so, that's a totally different type of directing.
Yes. And I loved Hitchcock. I loved them both.
Well, no, of course, but here's the point. The differentiation is that Hitchcock was a master of suspense.
Yeah.
His was in the story. Just the actors are just props. He hated actors. He didn't care about. So, he treated them like cows. That's an old running story about it. He treated them like, and so they did their job. They didn't miss their mark. They knew their lines. They got their money, washed up, and go home. But at the end of the day, you have a Hitchcock suspenseful movie, and it works. I mean, who doesn't like Hitchcock movies? They would probably be tame by today's standards, but they were great movies. Whereas Scorsese, John Cassavetes, I used to love William Friedkin. He did French
Oh,
Connection. I mean, now there's a time where they're improvising. They're improvising French Connection with Gene Hackman. All right, so as an actor, if you're a name, you're allowed that latitude. If you're not, if it's a one line, two lines, or here and there throughout the film, not that important of a role, you're not about to be allowed that latitude, that luxury, right? It's just common sense.
mm-hmm.
But if you're a name and you're a supporting actor and you're well known and you're with a certain director, you'll get that. But at the end of the day, the director, notwithstanding his or her style of directing, be it Lina Whitmuller from Italy, be it Fellini, be it Bertolucci, be it Hitchcock, be it whatever, at the end of the day, they're storytellers. John Ford, with John Wayne and The Quiet Man, great story. I mean, the point is he should have gotten a Academy Award for that. The bottom line is that at the end of the day, it's good because they're great storytellers.
Mm.
And as an actor, you're a cog in that wheel of storytelling. Remember that, actors. You're a cog in that wheel of just telling the story. You're telling a story. The director's the one handles the brush. You're the characters in the paint on the canvas. And that's a great opportunity and a great responsibility. James Cagney once said, the great James Cagney, yeah, director this, producer that, writer this, but it's us they see on the screen. We're the ones they see on the screen. We're the ones that have to sell the story. But don't get me wrong, it's a team effort and always has been, always will be. So directors are very important in film. I mean, that's their media, is film.
What is something that you haven't done that you'd like to do?
Join King Kong and climb Mount the Space Needle in Seattle. What would I like as an actor?
As an actor,
Just
as
as
an
a human
artist,
being. As an
as an
artist, well, my artwork is in acting and
yeah.
writing. I mean, my first love is acting. I write too, that, but
Yeah.
That's not what I am. I'm not a writer. I could add to
And
it.
you directed.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, well, if I had the opportunity, directing is so much work and headaches. Oh, well, you better have a lot of money behind it. I'm too old. I'm too old to get in the gutter and get in the trenches, with one camera over my shoulder and do this and do that. I'm too old for that. I rather just act. I rather go, with dignity, Anthony Hopkins type thing. Just walk into that role with a little white hair and just do my Eli Wallach and just do my roles at my older age. I would love to put my teeth into a great role that would definitely get a nomination or some recognition artistically. It doesn't even have to make a lot of money for me or the production, although I wish that on that for everyone. I would love to get into a great, unique, original role. I would love to do a role for me. I would love to do a role for me. I would love to play a character that would really give me that kind of back to point one validation to make up for the 50 years. And I think every actor, if really they were honest, let their hair down or his hair down, they would say the same thing. After 50 years, you're entitled to say that. I want to kind of leave a legacy. Like Joe Pesci, we happen to know him. I bring his name up because I know all about him through friends. He's born February 9th, like I am. He's Italian American. He's an actor. He was in the restaurant business. We have a lot in common, and we have mutual friends. So he's a very unique character, but he's getting old. But Joe Pesci left a legacy, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, the roles that
Five
he's done.
five films you can think of right off the top of your head. Joe Pesci, Pacino. You think he left a legacy? If he just were to quit today, Warren Beatty, De Niro, Anthony Hopkins, Alec Guinness, all of them, they left a legacy. Now, it doesn't have to be 20 films because some of them have not done many films. Some of them, like Warren Beatty, he only did about 25
Look
films.
at James Dean.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, I don't want to end up that way, but
No,
I don't
but
drive on, Mulholland Drive or
three
anything.
films and some TV.
But if I could do one or two films that leaves a legacy,
Yeah.
that did you see that film? What's that guy in? Where the hell is he? Where's he been? This guy, Vinny Di Paolo, De Niro, what's his name? And he plays a guy in his 70s. He's an old man and he falls in love with a young girl, whatever. And that would be a fulfillment, a full circle fulfillment for this putz here.
The thing is, you are here, Mr. Di Paolo, and
These interviews that you're doing contribute to the validation and fill the void with love by allowing one to speak out and offer oneself and open one's heart and mind and soul to the world, whoever is able to see this or wants to see it. I have friends of mine, I told them about the other one, they haven't seen it yet. So I said, I don't care. But the point is, because I'm trying to impart some gems of wisdom to aspiring young actors, notwithstanding who they are, what nationality, where they come from, whatever. Go out there, break the windows open, break the glass, do it, man. Try it if you love it, but make sure that you're qualified. Make sure that you become qualified. Make sure you have some training. Make sure that you have experience. Do background work. Do a lot of background work. Don't be embarrassed by that. Don't let anybody knock you down. And don't let anyone take away your dignity because you're just another frickin' actor in Hollywood. I was told that. This old time guy is like a father to me. He said, "Why is people ask you what you do?" And at the bar, he was a bartender. He said, "Don't tell people you're an actor." And for a while, I was hesitant to do that. Then I woke up one day. I said, "What the hell's wrong with being an actor? That's what I came here for." And I told him that, and he didn't say anything after that. What's wrong with saying I'm an actor? Because they come from a different place, hardworking people. I understand. My father, mother, they weren't actors. But the bottom line is, have dignity in what you do. Be humble. Be grateful. Stay clean. Don't live and wallow in toxicity of any kind with drugs and alcohol. And don't think this is the be all or the end all or the center of the universe for you. It's not. It's just a little part of it. The world doesn't need you and you don't need anyone else. But just be yourself and be happy. Be happy. Was I always happy? No. How many times I was frustrated, banged the wall, didn't get the job, angry, blame the world, blame everyone but me. Those days are over. I don't do that. When I'm treated with disrespect, regardless of what it is, I get a little angry. Like today, I got a little angry. But they don't know that. I told my agent and laid it on him. But the bottom line is, honestly, if you have another question, interrupt me anytime. But honestly, if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't. I would not put all this time and effort into a thankless business that you can put in your whole life into, heart, mind, and soul, and come out with nothing. Oh yeah, a lot of memories, experiences, and what have you, and stories to tell. Some good, some bad, some very amusing. But at the end of the day, unless one gets a couple series behind them or makes a few bucks, David, you know how it is. This is not it's a lousy friggin' way to make a living. I'm saying this for people out there who are in the real world, and they know what I mean, and you know that. But look what you did. You're an actor and a damn good one, but look what you're doing. You're doing other things, and it's helping society. Your Next Breath Productions is a wonderful organization. You're a special person that way, and that's not everything. Not something everybody would do. But I
What
think I covered all the angles. But you have a couple more.
I mean, we the stories that you have, we could do a weekly show with Vince DiPaolo.
Well, you know why? You know why? I'll tell you why. There's a
What?
reason why. I mean,
What?
everybody has stories, but not everybody has stories the way I do because I got around. I was involved with certain people, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and restaurant people, club people, casino people. You know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
Jews, Italians, Irish. The same group. I come from that era, and
You.
they introduced me to people.
Yeah.
They went to parties. I saw
You
things.
worked with Tony Curtis.
Well,
You
yeah, that's one
knew
thing.
Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Dean Jones, Robert Forster, Donna Summer, and they knew you.
Gavin McLeod.
Oh, Gavin.
Yeah, I want to cry, but I don't want to at the same time because I know where he's at. Believe me, death is not the last stop. If I really believe that, I could rob a couple banks a week. What I got to lose? I wouldn't kill anybody.
The way you said, "What have I got to lose?" that had so much going on it. That's why I really think you're just such an amazing actor. And
You know what I'm talking about, right, David? If I really believe this is it, Dr. Kevorkian philosophy, they asked him one time, when you die, what happens? He says, you rot. If I really believe there wasn't a afterlife, there wasn't a judgment, I'm a Judeo-Christian believer, and I'll never change. And I'm more and more every day. I support Israel. I support the Jews. I support anybody, the underdog, whether they be Arab or Jew that needs something. Doesn't matter. The American Indian, you name it.
yeah,
Blacks, whites, Hispanics. I've been there. I support an orphanage in Uganda. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what I am.
right.
And that's what makes me tick. That excites
Yeah.
me. It excites me to help these kids. And they write to me letters. I got photos and everything. They're wonderful, wonderful people. So, but personally, if I could push a button, I would love for a great director. Anybody, doesn't have to be a famous person. Somebody has a great project. Vince, I saw you with a guy named David Zimmerman. I like the way you think and talk. I got a role for you. Doesn't pay much, but you'll be working with Laney Kazan, David Zimmerman. You know, I saw Laney on a cable show on TV on a Jewish channel. That Jewish channel where they promote. It's a Jewish channel.
Yeah.
And they were talking about this movie. Oh, I'm remiss not to remember. It's a movie that's coming out. It's about tango and a rabbi and all that.
This is great.
Yeah, it's a great movie. You should check it out. I want to see it. Anyway, there she was, Lainey Kazan. She had her beautiful ring on, her hand on her chest, showing the ring off. Remember that picture I sent you with Vincent?
I love that photo.
Yeah, well, you keep it. Anyway, David, thank you so much for the opportunity. This gives me a way to these interviews give me a way to vent and to just pour out my feelings and purge some feelings and
Well, you have so much to offer in so many different ways. And I truly believe that, any second now, the phone's going to ring and it's going to be, Vince, we've got a role for you. He's laughing.
After 50 years, I can only laugh at that. Yeah, we'll call you. Don't call us.
Oh my God.
I got stories, man. Oh, I would go up to agents' homes in Beverly Hills. They're dead now. Rudy Altabelli worked for CAA. He handled many great people. And he said, "What are you doing here, Vince? You don't come to my door like this." So he brought me down in a Cadillac down to the Sunset Boulevard. I didn't have a car then. And he just, he liked me a lot, David.
Yeah.
But, nothing happened. So the point is, he says, "Too bad. Well, your talent will eventually, survive, surface, and you'll get something going." But the point is, and he used to own the home where the Sharon Tate murders took place.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and big man in the business. A lot of stories like that.
Vince, you should get your own show. You should.
Yeah, you set it up, I'll talk. If you set it up, I'll do it.
Vince Di Paolo show.
You and I will host it. You'll be my producer and co-host.
How fun.
And get a podcast. Here's what I think of show business: the Sanctuary of Misfits. And I'm one of the biggest misfits of
What
them
a great
all.
title, The Sanctuary of
I
Misfits.
hope this is being taped. This part right here. Don't take this part out.
The
Don't edit
Sanctuary.
it. Don't edit all any of this. All
This is what I'm going to entitle this episode.
the Sanctuary of Misfits.
Yeah.
That's what brought me to Hollywood, and I became one of the biggest misfits of them all. And I didn't even share the world of the nefarious activities with you, which I can't do really in detail, but I'm turning into a Johnny Russo. You ever watch Johnny Russo? He goes in to talk about many things, and he's been around, don't get me wrong. I work with him in a couple of movies. He's a charming fellow. But most of the people he talks about are dead. So unfortunately, but he wrote a book, and De Niro gave it a forward, and I don't want to turn into somebody that looks back too far and has a lot of stories to tell, which, as Macbeth says, sounds of fury signifying nothing. Sounds of fury signifying nothing. I mean, I just want to work.
You want to be in this moment working.
Yeah, working. I'd be happy to do a small budget film, and as long as it's a great role and it gets out there. And I just want to work. I want to make magic, but I want to have fun. I also want to have fun. I don't have the luxury of saying, well, I don't want to be in a film where there's mud. I can't want to walk in mud or anything. But that's it, Dave. Thank you very much for the interview, and I hope this helps somebody out there. I hope this interview encourages someone out there, tells it like it is. They understand, they take it to heart. I'm not trying to be judgmental about the business, but everybody knows it's a tough business. It's a tough business. And it's what we chose to do. And I told you why we chose it and why we're still here. Because we need that love, we need that validation, and we just need to create. Tell a painter not to paint anymore. Tell a sculptor not to sculpt anymore. I don't know, tell a barber not to cut hair anymore, whatever it may be. You can't do that. People want to do what they want to do as long as it fulfills something within. And this is what it does for me. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
And I look forward to working with you again soon in a big budget production. Thank you. Will you give a hug to your honey for me?
Yes, I certainly will. Thank you, David. Bless you. Bless your children, I call them. Bless your kids. Bless your guys, your brothers and sisters. And anytime you need anything, when you come down here, let me know. Call me. I'll take you out to lunch. Let's have lunch.
At Musso and Frank.
Are they open? I don't think they're open. Are they open now? We'll go there. Got a deal. Thank you, my dear friend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.